What do you make of this alliance forming across Asia? It's something almost nobody expected, except when you realize Donald Trump just scored a massive foreign policy failure. That failure wasn't theory. It was on full display at the Shanghai Cooperation Summit in Tianjin. India's Prime Minister Modi met China's Xi Jinping for the first time in 7 years. Putin was there too, holding closed-door talks, building a new axis of power. Then came the spectacle. Beijing rolled out the red carpet, hosting Putin at a massive military parade in Tiananmen Square. The message? A world order where Washington is no longer at the center. And while rivals built new ties, America's answer came down to angry late-night tweets from Trump, rambling about China's history, US sacrifices, and mocking shoutouts to Putin and Kim Jong-un. But those tweets weren't just rage. They were a confession. The US is being left out while its rivals openly cooperate without permission, or fear. At the center of it all stands India. For decades, Washington tried to shape India as a counterweight to China. But Trump's sudden hostility and heavy tariffs shattered that plan. He slapped 50% duties on Indian imports and pushed American corporations to dominate India's $1.2 trillion agriculture sector. For India, that was a red line. Here's why: farming supports nearly 150 million Indians. American mega farms average 188 hectares. In India, less than one. Add subsidies, cheap credit, and lower costs in the US, and Indian farmers would be wiped out overnight. Modi said no, and suddenly, Washington's bullying created the unthinkable: shared interests between India and China. China doesn't want low-value manufacturing anymore. India desperately needs it to create jobs. It's a perfect fit. Xiaomi already proves it: design in China, assemble in India, sell to millions. Together, India and China represent a $20 trillion GDP and 1/3 of the world's population. If they cooperate, the US risks being pushed out of the fastest-growing markets on Earth. But history makes this dangerous. In the 1960s, China betrayed India, sparking a brutal border war. As recently as 2020, troops clashed in the Himalayas. And China's all-weather friendship with Pakistan remains a threat to New Delhi. Even worse, India depends heavily on Chinese goods, from high-tech components to something as small as toothbrushes. That dependency gives Beijing leverage. So India faces its biggest dilemma. The US is a known devil, unreliable, but familiar. China, an unknown angel, offering opportunity, but carrying the scars of betrayal. And here's the truth: India isn't choosing Washington or Beijing. It's choosing itself. A multi-aligned policy, trading with everyone, relying on no one. Meanwhile, America's other backbone, its farmers, are losing ground. Countries once loyal to US corn are shifting to Brazil, Argentina, and Ukraine. Egypt, once a top buyer, now zero US corn imports. China, US exports collapsed 63% in 1 year. Brazil now dominates. Mexico, still America's biggest customer, but it's buying from Brazil too, hedging bets. Europe, imports jumped, but new tariffs will hit US corn hard. Japan and South Korea, both turning to cheaper South American suppliers. Even Vietnam cut US corn imports by over 70% in 5 years. Piece by piece, America's farm dominance is slipping. just like its influence in Asia. So here's the question: can Washington afford to keep alienating allies while rivals build a new world order? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit subscribe to the Untold Compass, drop a comment with your take, and share this video with friends who follow global politics.